No, no, no. This is a distortion tone that gives me nightmares.
Before we start today's episode, I want to let you know that my new single Comes Through has just been released. This is my final single release before my debut album. So keep watch of the space and stream Comes Through. Welcome to the ultimate Guitar Profiler Showdown. This isn't about declaring one profiler as the best. It's about which one rules when it comes to specific tones and genres. Today, it's all about the crunchy lead tone. We've got 4 profilers going head to head to find out who's the true crunchy lead tone champion. Today, I'm hanging out with Sofie, a session musician from Denmark and now making waves in London. She's played alongside renowned pop artists such as Holly Humberstone, Madison Beer, Ash Nico, and Zara Larsson. She's the queen of killer licks and smooth, buttery guitar tones. You might have caught her rocking out at Rock in Rio or shredding at the TC Electronics booth at NAMM this year. Hello Sofie, thank you so much for being here.
Hey Rikki, thank you so much for having me and for all those sweet words. I really appreciate you.
Can you tell us what profilers or modeling boards are you currently using?
I am deep within the modeling world at the moment. I love the quad Cortex.
Can you walk us through your process on building patches for your quad Cortex?
What I usually do is that I'll pick a somewhat sort of clean amp, it'll Mesa or maybe a Fender, at some sort of clean setting. If I want that overdrive sound, I'll probably just use the amp itself to modify it to have that edge of breakup kind of vibe. As you do in the modeling world, whatever you're building, it's a little bit of a just kind of searching through what devices they have and see what fits the build.
So tell us, what do you look for in a crunchy overdrive lead tone?
I'm looking for warmth. I am looking for something that can give you a hug. Something where you don't want to be completely clean, but that edge of breakup thing is just mwah. I am very nerdy about EQ, especially when I'm in a session. I want the EQ to be just right so it fits within the session. Depending on what the track is, what the band is doing, what the song is doing, the individual tone might actually sound horrible when you solo it, but in the context of the song, it's gonna sound fantastic. I also realize if you are doing a lead part in a song, that probably has to cut through. So I'll probably push that to make sure that you can hear it in the mix. Is also about what you put after the overdrive and the distortion. The reverb is everything, the delay is everything, and I would like to push those quite far. I think I'm more in the distortion world when we're talking leads. A good overdrive also has something to do with how it feels to play with it. Something can sound good, but if it doesn't feel great to play, you kind of have to modify it depending on what your playing style is.
Thank you, Sofie. Here's how this works. This is a knockout style competition. 4 profilers compete in 3 rounds. The winners of the first 2 rounds advance to the final, where they face off to determine the overall winner. Each round eliminates 1 contestant, leaving only 1 winner at the end. I'll play the same licks and riffs through each profiler, using the same guitar with the same settings. I will set the patches based on what I think sounds good within what the unit has. And you get to listen and pick the winner based on the overall tone. But here's the twist. You won't know which sound belongs to which profiler. You'll be hearing blind test, so no bias. At the end, we'll crown the crunchy lead tone champion. Let the games begin. In round 1 of the ultimate profiler showdown, Fender Tonemaster Pro versus the Kemper. First up, the Tonemaster Pro.
Sweet.
Let's see if the Kemper match up. Sophie, between A and B, which one is your favorite and why?
A and B, I actually think they both sound really, really great. I'm currently leaning towards the B. I think the way that it reacts to your playing is really, really great. There's something fulfilling about that bend on the B track versus the A track. That seems to be actually reacting quite well. I like Warmth. Track A, though, is a little bit too muddy. I mean, both bring a different vibe. They're both good. That's the thing. In my opinion, what I would pick track A for the rhythm part, for the chords, and then track B for the last lead line. What do I do? They're kind of both winners for me in that aspect. I think there is too much distortion for the rhythm part on track B. I don't like how the distortion disturbs the open strings. Love it for the lead tone. For track A, it's good for the rhythm part. But for the lead tone, I think it's more nasally. I'm just gonna go with B. We're gonna go with B.
And winner of the round 1 is Kemper. Round 2 is here. The quad Cortex takes on the Ampero Stage 2. Let's hear what the QC has to offer. So, now let's check out the Ampero. Between C and D, tell us your thoughts.
No. Track D is hella muddy. It lacks some oomph. No, I can't even listen to track D. I'm sorry. This is a distortion tone that gives me nightmares. Lacks definition. It sounds like it's been through a lot of pain and torture, but not in a nice way. Like it's just distortion. There is no niceness happening. Line 6 spider vibes. Out of those two, it's track C.
The winner of this round is the Quad Cortex. Let's head into the finals to determine the crunchy lead tone champion. Before we crown the champion, remember that this series is purely for fun and entertainment. Every profiler has its own strengths and characteristics. The winner here doesn't mean that it's the ultimate choice for everyone. There are still so many profilers and multi-effects units that I have yet to try out myself. So feel free to explore and find one that suits your style the most. And as Sophie said at the start, the unit has to respond well to your playing. Take this as an inspiration and happy profiler hunting. It's Kemper versus Quad Cortex in the finals. Let's kick it off with Kemper.
Sick, that sounds great.
Here comes the Quad Cortex.
That sounded great as well. I think this one cuts really well within the mix.
Between B and C, what do you think of each tone?
See, I think it's too muddy here. Here, I think track B is too muddy. We need some more definition. I think I would like this tone on its own. As you started playing in the higher register, I kind of like where it was sat there. If it was just me playing by myself, because it's got that warm, huggy feeling. In the context of the track, it's losing some definition here. It just cuts through. From the start until this point, halfway through the track, the definition is there. It doesn't get lost in the mix. So I think this is where track C really wins. For me to absolutely love it, I would just turn the higher frequency just a little bit down, but it sits really nice in the mix for the majority part of it.
The moment has arrived. Tell us who's the winner and which profiler you think it is.
For me, I think I would have picked track B as my solo lead tone if I'm just at home by myself, playing by myself. But in the context of the song of this track, I think that track C cuts through a lot better. Even though I think it does get a little bit too bright in the higher register, does overall sit better. And I think as guitarists, we need to make sure that we sit nicely in the mix. And I think this is the one that does it. Given those factors, I think track C is our winner. I don't know what this will be like, because all the muddlers, if you know how to program it, it sounds good. I wonder if this is the Kemper. I mean, I don't know.
The winner of the Crunchy Lead Tone Champion is Quad Cortex. That's it for today's episode. Big thanks to Sofie for being a sport.
Rikki, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you thinking of me to judge this context. Again, awesome tones, really fun to listen to them, and good work on the tracks. I am excited to hear what the result is.
Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel for more fun guitar videos, and let me know in the comments which profiler you think nailed the Crunchy Lead Tone Challenge. Here are some of my thoughts after going through all of the profilers. I wanted to address the elephant in the room, Ampero Stage. I did not purposely make it sound bad. First of all, I think that the Ampero, it has a way lower price point than the other. So that's a huge disadvantage that the Ampero has. And secondly, I think Ampero sounds great by itself when you have no one comparing to you. But once you have this other major big players put right side by side with you, you can hear that Quad has such a full frequency range, whereas the Ampero doesn't really have, it's missing some of the frequencies. I don't know, maybe the developers can update it. I think that the Ampero and the Quad has similar technology. I think Kemper, you can only use one amp, whereas Ampero can have parallel amps. That is something really cool. All three of them, other than Kemper, you can plug in your mic. You can use it as audio interface. That's something Kemper doesn't have. I actually don't think it sounds bad, but for me, it doesn't sound as full as the others, which leads me to the Quad. I think the Quad, the design team or the engineers, they're so good at building distortion sounds. It's really hard to get a good distortion, to be fair. I literally just had that Quad with me, plug it in, and try to find a nice patch to build from it. It already sounded good. It sounded really full, so I didn't need to do much. So I just added a couple of other bits. I think that they really nailed the lead tone. And also for the Fender Tonemaster, I remember that feeling when something feels really good. You just want to strike it harder. That's what I felt when I first plugged in that Tonemaster Pro. It sounds like an actual amp. The only thing that's missing is the actual wind from the sound cone. That's it. It really felt like a real amp. You can probably hear it in track A. I was striking the guitar so hard, it sounds like it's a little bit out of tune. If you love amps and if you don't want to lug around your amps into pubs or like into gig places, get the Tonemaster Pro. And also lastly, I think my next pedal is the Quad. I think I'm gonna use the Quad now. Don't tell Kemper.
No, I can't even listen to track D. I'm sorry. It's like, this is a distortion tone that gives me nightmares. Like, it doesn't have any oomph to it, lacks definition, but not in a nice way, just pain.